Welcome to Around the Kinky Campfire podcast. This is your host, the Cuddle Gigolo, aka El Comidon, aka Mango Boogies, but also known officially as HH Julius, your entertainment creative. I'm here with Miss Rue, our education guru, and our goal in this podcast is to destigmatize the taboo topics of kink, non-monogamy, and BDSM. We like to educate through awareness and with our experiences, and we are not certified professionals as of yet. So our non-judgmental topics with a dash of facts are to be taken mostly as entertainment and with, some slice of life anecdotal stories. Your opinions, lifestyles, and or way of thinking may not be in alignment with ours, but your opinion, lifestyle, way of thinking is also okay as well. And the fact that you have an opinion is valid. We're not here to change your minds. We are here just to provide a different point of view. Please join us every second and fourth Thursdays of every month, and our episodes are uploaded to all major platforms: Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music, etc., etc. Please look forward to this coming episode, as we will start shortly, and make sure to especially pay attention to our ASR Minute, which will start very soon.
Oh no, I would miss this reaction. Okay, so as y'all heard, Campsters, we have an official intro. So now we can just jump straight into Miss Rue's favorite minute, the ASMR minute. What you drinking?
I'm drinking Crown Peach and Coke Zero.
That was Miss Rue. And today, I am a Batty Coda.
What is that?
Batty Coda.
What is that?
Have you heard of a little movie called Ferngully?
Oh gosh, we're dating ourselves.
Yeah, I know. I just watched it actually. And
Really?
did you know there was a sequel that just came out?
For the first time?
Yes,
You
for
just
the first
watched
time.
Ferngully for the first
Yes,
time?
Exactly, for the first
Where
time.
have you been living?
You're hilarious.
Who raised you?
Some of us had VHS tapes of Ferngully. Thank you very much.
Who raised you?
Yeah, did you know there was a part 2 that just came out?
I did not.
Yeah, it just came out, so I had to watch the first one again.
To watch the second one. That makes
That's-
sense.
It didn't really, because it had nothing to do with each other. It's completely different people.
Oh my gosh.
But there's people that have not watched it, so I had to rewatch it for that.
Mm-hmm.
And then, the second one's absolute garbage. None of the same things. Did you know Christian Slater was in the first one?
I
you
did
know?
not.
Yeah, he played the big guy. I can't remember his name, even though he was in the second one too. I can't think of it. But Batty Coda.
Okay.
Batty Coda? Anything?
Sure. No.
Do you
nothing.
know a certain person named Robin Williams?
Well, of course.
Do you know he played a bat?
I did not.
Did you know the bat's name?
I did not.
Batty Coda.
How about that?
I am Batty Coda today.
Okay.
Not as good.
You're not
But
a
rest
Robin
in peace, Robin Williams.
You're not Robin Williams.
I am not Robin Williams. I don't have the energy. But what I do have is a green tea, great value.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting a little lukewarm now
Yep.
and a little bit cold.
Mm-hmm. Probably
And
shouldn't drink it.
for my second time through, I am having a sparkling ice caffeine plus. Not sponsored, but I will whore myself out for that.
Okay.
And you say Crown. You want to
I'm
say
drinking-
what's mixing?
Oh yeah, it's I think Coke Zero.
Yeah. I have a question for you, like a random tangent. Like, what have you ever ranked soda from fast food restaurants? You know, can you tell the difference?
Yes.
Okay, we should do that sometime. Anyways, straight to your favorite part and everybody's favorite part, the ASMR minute. I like that we can just jump right into this now.
This is horrible.
It's gonna start in 3, 2, 1.
I really think you should just pre-record this. Okay, that's much. Yeah. Oh my gosh. That is a bit much.
I think everybody loves it. I've gotten word.
You've gotten word.
I've got word
A
from
word?
a million fans.
You've gotten
It's just
a
one.
word?
I got one word from one fan,
Uh-huh.
and as you know, Batty Coda only needs one fan.
Yep.
That says they enjoy it.
All we need. Thank
That's
you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Maybe I need to record the intro where I share that we should not encourage you in any way in your bad behavior.
No. This is all for people's entertainment and educational. I make mistakes, and then I record it on the podcast. It's literally the whole podcast.
It's the whole podcast.
I mean, people have started at the beginning. Hello, people that are out there that we may or may not know in real life, and may or may not be talking to. They start from the beginning, and I have to give that little warning, like, that person that was an ex-girlfriend. So they start from the beginning, and then they come up to now, but they say they enjoy it. So
there you go.
Yeah. Our group sessions, they like our banter, and they like me talking to myself into the ether. So apparently that's enjoyable as well.
There you go.
For the
or
people,
they're just trying to have sex with you, so they tell you that.
No, because I tell them I'm demisexual. As y'all know, demisexual needs an emotional attachment. I can go deep into that at some point, which I will in a pillow fort session. That I'm not sexual gratification is not my goal. I am a cuddler.
You're a cuddler.
I've been known to go by the cuddle gigolo in some spaces, like this one.
No, this is not that space.
This is that space. I've
Not
gone
for
by
me.
cuddle.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about actual. I'm talking about by name.
Phew.
I said I've gone by. I didn't say you can purchase these services.
Good.
Yes. we agree. There's consent
agree.
there. So with consent is sexy. We all very much agree to the consent. But yeah, I'm a cuddler. I need cuddling.
Okay.
So yeah, that's what I need. Sex is, which again, we need to. That's another episode idea. We need to go through all the topics again, because there's certain platforms where they still have not differentiated between kink and BDSM. There's still certain platforms, which I just heard.
This is not the rant we're doing today.
I'm just saying that's not the rant. That's something different. We have to go through that again.
Okay.
We have to explain all the different things again, like we said in the couple podcasts when we were talking about a convention.
We will do that, but is not today's
I'm just saying,
rant.
since the last time we actually talked or whatever, I've heard things where there's certain people in our space that still have not differentiated between kink and BDSM. And they've been doing it a lot longer than we have, which it's so confusing to me. But tangent, one thing, definition is another thing. Okay. Today, folks, somebody took a trip.
I did.
Does this feel better now that we don't have to do the intro again?
I know it does.
Yeah,
I
we're
like
just jumping
it.
right into it. There you go. No more banter.
I did take a trip.
Where did you go?
I went to Atlanta. And
For
I went
what?
to LLC. I went to the Leather Leader Conference 2024.
2024, people. This is becoming a regular thing now. We have a thing because we do this every year. As far as you know, we've only been for 2 years, but it's been every year that we've been on.
It has.
Would you like to tell us about LLC?
LLC was amazing. It was absolutely uplifting. It was like a family reunion. It was exhausting because so much is packed into such a small amount of time.
Yes. Because it's only 3 days.
It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday afternoon.
Which most conferences are like 4 or 5 days.
Well, I got there
most,
Thursday
quote,
night and I left Sunday.
Yeah.
But it's nonstop.
Yeah.
And
Jeez.
I mean, it's not a play party. For those that haven't heard the previous episodes, LLC is not a play party. The best way to describe LLC is it's professional development for kink, for people who lead spaces, lead events, teach classes, all of the above. So people who either want to do it, who have just started doing it, or have been doing it a really long ass time. And so one of the misconceptions that people have with LLC is they hear the name Leather Leader Conference. Well, this was our
right here.
The 20th anniversary. 2025, I think 20th. I'll have to look it up. I'm sorry.
Would you say just kink or overall or BDSM or lifestyle?
All of it. No, it's professional development for people who lead or organize things within the kink community and BDSM community. Okay. And so it could be you could organize a munch every month. You would gain something from this conference. You could run a play space out of your home once a month. You could learn something from this conference. You can own a public dungeon and you're going to learn something from this conference. It is literally where people come together. That all of the classes are geared towards building your community, building your event, building a safe space for people, building an inclusive safe space for people, and how to navigate that, and how to just take information back to back to your community and make it better. It's amazing. I cannot speak highly enough of the vision and the drive and the ideology that goes behind LLC.
Yeah, I'm not at a place where I can go to all the things, so I'm sad I missed out on it this year. Was it at the same
same
location?
hotel. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And that's the exciting part is, drum roll, next year it's going to be in LA. They are going West Coast.
Are you serious?
Yes.
It's not like a different version of it or anything?
Same LLC.
Wow.
And so they're going to start alternating every year, going between the East Coast and West Coast to make it more accessible to everybody in the country.
Same time?
Yep.
That's
Same time of the year. Same event. It's the event.
Mm-hmm.
They are just going to go coast to coast so that it makes it accessible. Because in Atlanta, it's very accessible to the southeast, to the east side, but not necessarily to people in like Colorado, Arizona, California. That's a big trip.
Yeah.
That turns into a very expensive trip for 3 days for professional development for a job you're not getting paid for.
Have you ever gotten a breakdown of where everybody comes from? Have they done the stats for that?
They probably have. I've not seen it, but I am safe to say that, I mean, there are a couple of board members that live in California now. So I do know that some people come and fly. We have one lady that is very heavily involved and is one of the volunteers and teachers that taught this year and last year. And she lives in Canada and she comes down for this event. So you do get people. But it can be a very regional thing just due to money and resources and all of those things. Mm-hmm. So the fact that they are going to LA next year, oh my gosh, amazing. I can't wait.
Okay. And that's it. Is it the area where you go?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. My besties out there. We're going to represent strong.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All the different things.
Silk is going to represent strong.
One of these years. # life goals. We're going to do a podcast from there.
I'm just saying, it's going to represent strong. It's going to be amazing.
Oh, you're bringing Silk there?
Silk is already in LA. There is a Silk Orlando and a Silk LA.
Oh.
And we're both going to be in the same space at the same time at the same convention.
Okay. Yeah, we got to do something.
Oh, it's going to be I'm already looking forward to it, and it's a year away.
I haven't been to LA. I don't think I've been to LA proper, but like Santa Monica, Santa Barbara area since I was in middle school.
Well, the information's out there. They've already announced that they're going to LA.
Yeah.
And they've already got the dates. They've already got the registration is open.
Yeah.
So if anybody on the west side of the country or has the means on the east side to go, you can get your tickets now. You can reserve your hotel now. They're not going to have the lineup, of course. They're not going to have the presenters. They're not going to have the classes listed, but you can go ahead. If this is something that you want to go to, you can already make plans and block out the dates and go and set all that up.
Are you going to apply to teach?
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, we got to plan something.
Absolutely.
If not next year, hopefully next year, folks. A little teaser, but yeah, definitely would like to do some kind of something at a convention like this. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be lifestyle type convention. I mean, I'd do it for the geeky people out there.
But so what I was going to say is one of the misconceptions that I want people to understand is it's called Leather Leadership Conference. However, it is not necessarily it's not a leather event. It's a leather event by default because a lot of people that are in organizational positions are leather because that's one of the very core is giving back to the community and engaging in your community and making it better. You don't have to be leather to attend this event. You don't have to identify as leather. You don't even have to understand it. You can go to this event as a munch organizer, never having worn a piece of leather in your life, and you're going to learn so much, and you're going to network, and you're going to meet amazing people who have stories and life lessons that just are freely given. Not only are the classes amazing, but to me, sometimes my favorite parts of this conference are what happens just like outside in the smoking area, like the social area. You get a bunch of people together that have been doing this for a hot minute, and you give them some whiskey and fresh air, and the stories just fall out of their mouths. And they are talking about people that they used to know. They talk about
someone
things.
they used to know.
Well, people, yeah, some of them that I did. And even if you didn't know the people, just the stories that they tell and the history and the experience that just sometimes those classes that aren't classes are some of the best experiences from conferences like this. People talk about how they fell flat on their face. They talk about the pitfalls that they have been through. They've talked about how they've stepped on their dicks. They will
literally or figuratively.
Both. I do it for fun, but I mean, like some people didn't mean to.
Yeah.
And they will share all of this information openly, and it's not to prove anything. It's not to justify anything. It's just that, hey, if you can hear this from me, maybe you'll get something. And it won't happen to you, or it won't happen as bad to you, or you'll see something coming. This conference is all about cultivating and growing leaders in a community. And some of those happen to be leather folk, and some of them aren't. And that's okay.
Yeah, so at the basis, I would say just from going the one time I go, not leather identifying, but is definitely for as long as you're in the lifestyle and you want to learn about
and you
being
want
a
to
leader.
lead something, this is it.
Leading in the kink BDSM.
Like I said, the best way that I've known how to describe this is professional development for organizers or emerging or existing leaders in the community.
In the community. Okay, so we have the schedule pulled up.
We do.
Do you want to go through the schedule, or you want to go through what you...
Well, I mean, okay, so on Friday, they had an emergent leaders panel. I went to that. I have a page and a half of notes. It was...
Okay, so this is noon to 1:30 on Friday.
Or a page of notes. Yeah, that was fun. They have things like... slow down. Fundraising and board development.
I thought you were going to talk about your leaders.
Creating safety, the art of building your consent team, an event producers roundtable, fortifying leaders, making better meetings.
I wish I could have seen that, because that's by the Science of BDSM team.
Oh, yeah, they're there every year.
If you guys don't know about them, they actually do studies in the kink spaces, and they put all their findings out there, and I am 100% a nerd. I read all that stuff. Unfortunately, they don't have a big pool, so if you know anything about taking stats and everything, smaller pool you have, not as quite as good findings and results, but I fully support them. Hopefully they can find more people to, basically you need more kink people in a kink space
the more
that's
stats
willing
they
to
can
do
get,
a survey.
The better their surveys,
So
the better their outcome is.
I would love to know what they were saying by making better meeting, and what survey they did for that. Oh my gosh.
And so Friday's pretty low key. It's just the beginner part of it. They had a cigar social on Friday.
Okay.
Which was fun until it wasn't, because they got rained on. So they had to rush in. Yeah, it was like, surprise, there's rain.
Can't have cigars with water.
You are moving way too fast. One of the things that I enjoyed this year was that...
You need to put your finger out there. I don't know what you're doing.
Some of the classes were actually not just classes, they were intensives. So they were 3 hours. So you were sitting with these people, and they were classes. However, most of the presenters, it was interactive. So they were really facilitators with an outline and information. So they would present information, and then they would be, so what's your experience? Give me your opinions. Tell me things that have happened in your community. And it would really open it up. And I saw the 3 hour block, and I was like, wow, what 3 hour class? Ooh, that's rough. I was thinking back to college years, right?
Yeah, I did not see that 2 to 5 on a Friday afternoon.
I'll be honest, I loved it. You didn't know you were in the room for 3 hours. And there were times that we would be in the room past the 3 hours because the conversation was so good. and so informative.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
So I went to the Emergent Leaders panel. So they had, I think, 5 people up front, and it was a true panel, and they would ask them questions, and they were all different demographics, different identifications, different experience levels, all of it. And basically it's like, what advice would you give to emergent leaders if people were trying to become, and they would ask them questions. And the very first thing that was said, and I have it on my notes and it's bracketed, which is why like I know it like really resonated with me when I heard it, was when you already exist in the community and you're already looked at as a leader in the community, you're leading an event, you're leading a play space, you're the person doing the thing. One of the things that resonated with me was that you need to stop looking at how to support upcoming leaders, instead working on your own leadership. So sometimes like, not stop, start. Did I say stop? I should have said start. I hope I said start.
Mm-hmm.
Start looking at how to support upcoming leaders instead of working on your own leadership. So some people get stuck in the hamster wheel of how do I be better than what I am? How can I do this better? How can I be better? How can I make the space better? How can I make the community better? And one of the things that they forget to do is, how can I help other people become leaders? How can I help other people become better leaders? And this was brought up because people will create a thing, a dungeon, a play space, a munch, and they don't think about what happens when you're gone. What's the end goal? Mm-hmm. If the end goal is for this to be sustainable for your community, what are you doing to make sure that it is sustainable for your community? And if you're only working on yourself and you only see yourself and you don't see other people who have the potential to drive this vision that you've created and grow from it and grow with it, then ultimately you have grown this to die with you. And so instead of constantly looking at just improving yourself, what are you doing to promote others to lead with you and for you?
Yeah.
And I was just like, son of a bitch. You know, we're literally at a conference, professional development for leadership. And the first thing that I'm hearing out the gate in the first class that I'm in is, how much are you working on yourself compared to how much are you promoting and educating and growing the people that are going to replace you?
Yeah. Are you wanting to leave a legacy, and how are you going to do that?
Because ultimately you are going to be replaced.
Yeah.
Legacy. And they didn't say that, you know, but that's how I interpreted it. And it was just like, oh my gosh. Like it completely changed my perspective of how I looked at these classes. And I went into the weekend going, I need fresh eyes. I need fresh eyes on what I'm doing. I need fresh eyes on what kind of classes I'm developing and I'm wanting to offer. I need a kickstart personally. Like, I just need it. And the very first thing I'm hearing is it's not about you. It's what are you doing for other people so that the community can thrive and grow and exist when you're not here, is what my mind interpreted that answer. And I was like, that's it. Okay, now I have found why I'm here. It's not about me. It's about what am I doing to grow the community, because I will eventually not be in it. And so every class that I went to, everything that I listened to, all the little nuggets that planted was really for me about that. What am I doing to ensure that when I'm no longer able to teach, I'm no longer able to do a thing, I'm no longer to even maybe participate in the community any longer, what am I doing to ensure that there is a healthy, thriving, driven community that is still going?
Yeah. What legacy you want to leave?
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense.
I'm telling you, it set the tone for me. It absolutely set the tone for me.
Okay.
And
Any other notes from it?
Well, I mean, they asked questions like, what is leadership to you? And people were, sharing that, you lead by example. People are watching you. They pay attention to what you do. They pay attention to who you are and, how you treat other people. They might not hear what you're saying, but they see your physical interaction with people.
Yep.
And they hear how you treat people. That we should use leadership to set an example on how, quote unquote, we should be acting and conducting ourselves. We as in people who organize things, because we're setting the example on how things should be organized, how people who organize things should act, the accountability we should fall under, the expectations we should have on ourselves as people who put themselves out there to organize or lead a thing, right? That they have, what is leadership to you? It's a core value. They shared that that it's living it, not just doing it. Are you living your life as somebody who is in a leadership position, or are you just doing the leadership? Is it an action, or is it an identification as a part of you? And then the age-old, do I decide if I'm a leader, and is it fair if others decide for you, right? How many times do you hear people say, Mr., shit-faced grin over there, you're a leader
Batty Coda. Batty Coda. Batty Coda. Rest in peace, Robin Williams.
And what is it that you always say to me? What do you call me?
You're a very nice lady.
Don't kiss ass
intelligent. Now. You are also a leader in my community.
Right. And so you know what their answer to that was? We ultimately decide when we stand up. Do you ultimately decide that you're okay with that title when you decide to stand up and do the thing? And that's what you've got to ask yourself. And does teaching of standing up have an obligation to be looked at as a leader? And it's a debate. It's an ongoing debate between, what is a leader compared to an event organizer? If you organize an event, are you a leader or are you an organizer of an event? Is it fair that people can put that leadership title on you? Do you have to accept it? Does it matter if you don't? Which is that's a really great debate. And I think a really good, I think that's really, because everybody has different opinions. And I'm learning that the difference of opinions is between people who do and people who don't. The people who don't do the things and don't stand up and do the things compared to the people who do.
You mean like trolls on the internet?
So, stepping up to what your community needs, not just what you're interested in. What's leadership to you? Seeing a need and doing the things that fill the need, even if it doesn't benefit you or it's not anything that you're interested in. I have arrows on the outside of this. And one of the things that they say, a good leader should be able to answer. Anybody who leads a thing should be able to answer this. Who is being served by this thing that you're doing?
Okay, so you mean specifically goals, not just questions in general.
Right, but who is being served by this thing? I want to start a munch. And I want to start a munch where only critters can come. Okay? Why? Does one exist? Do you not like the one that exists? Are you at beef with with the person who runs the other one? So you don't like the way it's ran, so you're going to start your own? Or is there a true need in your community? Who are you? Who is being served by the thing that you're doing? Right? And are you doing it to create it or to control it? Well, I was like, holy shit, there we go. There we go. Because you hear people all the time, I did this thing because it didn't exist in my community. So I was filling a need. Was it a need? Did it exist and you didn't like the way you existed? So you're doing it so that you can control the narrative. Or are you doing it to really fulfill the need? So are you doing it to create or to control? So it was really, really deep. The next question, what is your value in a leader? So they each had to give a word and like an explanation of why that word resonated with them. And so one of the words was understanding. They believe in anybody who's in a leadership position should have understanding. You know, seeing where people are coming from and speaking to people where they are. Not just the explanation you want to give them, but are you speaking to them at their level of understanding?
Who is this moderator and where are they getting their questions from?
They came up with their own questions.
And they asked the panel people these questions?
The panels are what answered this questions. Yeah.
Okay.
One said grace, and that making sure you understand that you are still growing and learning as a leader. So you should not just grace to the people that you're organizing the event for, but making sure that you give yourself grace and that you realize that you didn't prepare for this. You probably didn't know what you were doing when you were doing this. You did this because there was a need. And are you giving yourself enough grace to understand that you might not all have all the answers. You might not have all of the experience, but you're willing to learn and grow with whatever it is that you're creating. I was like, okay, we're finally talking about that. That's amazing. You know, identifying that we're still human beings.
Yes.
And that's so hard for people to do. They think because you organize something that you are just a open target for anything that's right or wrong. And they forget that you are still a human being with feelings and all the things. So the other one is humility. Sometimes the best thing to do is step aside and raise others up. And knowing when that's the time. And having the humility to be able to say, this isn't about me anymore, and I need you to rise up and take it to the next step that I might not be able to take it to. And then actually doing it. Decisiveness. Ability to gather information and make a decision. And the key behind that is not having paralysis. So not doing a thing is doing a thing. You're choosing not to. So not having that paralysis, if you're going to be in a position of leadership of any time or of organization, you have to be able to make decisions, whether they benefit you or not, and having the ability to have decisiveness and not become frozen. And then vision, being able to have a vision. You know, what does the idea look like and how do you get there? Why are you doing what you're doing? What's the end goal? Is the end goal sustainability? Is the end goal just to fill a need for 6 months until something else comes along? What's the vision of what you're creating? And then based on that vision, what are you doing to make sure you get there? I'm telling you, this was how the event, this was the first thing I entered. And this is how the event started for me.
It's a good starting point.
Yeah.
And this was just the class? This wasn't even the intensive.
And this was not even the intensive. No. This was not the intensive.
I'd love to know the moderator and where they get their questions from.
But the two of the moderators, I believe, were board members.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. That makes more sense.
Mm-hmm.
Some deep questions. I like that they went to like the 102 level, not just the 101 of leadership.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's the whole point of the convention is 101. Everybody's already doing something. Everybody's already...
Or thinking about doing something.
most people who come to this event are already doing something.
Okay.
And so they're already in it. They're already experiencing things. So you almost have to kind of go to a 201 level to be like, we acknowledge you're already doing things. Now what are you experiencing and how can we make it better? Or how can we fix it? How can we support you? What classes are going to support you?
Also
with the
giving
things
you a
that you're
direction
doing?
too. 'Cause
Exactly.
A lot of people not asking themselves these questions. Right
Exactly. It's one of those where you don't know what you don't know until you don't know it.
Story of my fucking life. I thought we were getting to the rant in this episode.
Not
Don't
this
get
one.
me started.
Nope, not this
I
one.
don't know the shit. Why aren't they teaching this shit in school? God damn it. Why can't we have a leadership class in school? Like, why are we not teaching these people fucking... I was about to make a math joke. So you went to that?
Yep. And then I went to the Fortifying Our Leaders intensive with Master Vari. Amazing. Shout out to Master Vari. If you could ever attend any of her classes, I highly encourage you to do so. And again, first thing that I bracketed out of this intensive was leadership is the ability to get people to follow you. It's simple as that.
Say that one more time.
Leadership is the ability to get people to follow you.
I think I'm going to make that our soundbite for the week.
And she's just amazing. She takes things, she takes concepts, and she puts them in a perspective that really makes you think and really makes you look at things in a different way. For example, I have here, I'll be honest, the notes for this are extremely short because it was very interactive. So we spent a lot of time small group discussing, small group collaborating, and then coming back together as a whole group and sharing. And so I probably could have taken a lot more notes, but I was so into it that I felt the notes were distracting me.
Yes.
And so I just wanted to be in the class and experience the class. So my notes are very sparse.
Okay. Explain more detail. So would she pose a question and then you guys talk about it?
Yeah.
And then, okay.
She would pose a question. I'm trying to think. It was when you're thinking of a leader, what is a bad leader? What is a good leader? And what is a amazing, the next level leader? And so when you think of these three categories, what words do you attribute to each category? And so we got broken up into small groups, and they were we had to come up with 2 or 3 words of, if we think of what a bad leader is, these are the things that we would think of. And when we think of a good leader, these are things that we would think of. And then when we think of an excellent leader, this is the things that we think of. And then we all came back together as a big group and group shared all the different words that everybody came up with, and then talked about how there are attributes of a good leader that make an excellent leader, but what are the things that start separating them between good and excellent?
Okay, so as far as the intensive breakdown, she would ask a question, you guys would get into small groups, each person would say what their opinion is.
Yeah, we did that once. So there was some lecture, some substance, sit and get is what it's called, when you just sit and get the information.
Okay.
So there was some sit and get in the beginning. There was some small group work. There was collaboration work. And then it was just open, share experiences. What does this resonate with you? Where are you thinking with this? Things like that. So it was very interactive. It was not 3 hours of sit and get.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, trying to help the people that don't know exactly what intensives are.
So there's a quote in this, and it was, again, just little things. It was little things. Like the word manipulation. The word manipulation has a negative connotation to it.
Word manipulation.
Yes. Everybody hears the word manipulation and they automatically think negative. Oh my gosh,
buzzword.
You manipulated me. You manipulated me,
That's
right?
The buzzword. Gaslighting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and her thing is manipulation can actually be good and bad.
Yes. I mean, salespeople need it.
And here's what I wrote. It can be a way to drive the direction of a community, a relationship, or a discussion.
Yes.
And I was just like, I love it when like words that society has deemed bad.
Like narcissist?
Yeah. And they actually show you the other side of that word. And I don't know, I can be a nerd like that. And I appreciated that she was able to take a word and give us a different way to view it, and different way that it can be thought of in a positive way.
Yep. Yeah, this is the kind of stuff I like talking about. This is that 201 level stuff where people just use words and then they don't know actually what it is just because they heard it somewhere.
Right.
Oh, he traumatized me. It's like, what does that mean exactly?
One of the quotes that really, I wrote it down, really resonated with me was the point of an arrow. So think of an archer that's shooting an arrow, right? The point of an arrow can either cause a great deal of damage or create the greatest impact. And so when you're shooting an arrow, right, there's always the point at the end of an arrow, right? Are you shooting that arrow to create a great deal of damage or to cause the greatest impact? Because the point of the arrow is what allows the rest of the arrow to go through.
Yes.
So what is your intent behind sharing that information, making that policy, creating the group? Basically, what is the motivation behind shooting that arrow? Are you doing it to cause damage, which is what an arrow can do? Or are you doing it to create the greatest amount of impact? And I was just like, this is why I attend her classes. Like, just the way that she views things and the way that she explained things. It's like,
think.
It makes you think.
I like it.
I know. I love it.
Theme of my life.
And that was the start of the convention, were those two things. And then, of course, one of my favorite parties of the year.
The Sunday party?
The Friday night party.
Slip and slide? Bubble party.
Nope. Even better. Shout out to the men of Onyx.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about them sexy gentlemen.
Ooh, those men.
Ooh, tangent. There's another platform I listen to where they're talking about different conventions, and Onyx has come up a couple times, and they talk about their parties. And this is
men of Onyx.
Interesting because it's not necessarily a leather thing, which we know them for, but it's a different kind of convention. It's like, ooh, I know those people.
The men of Onyx is a leather family. I don't know how else to. I mean, either if you know them, you know them, and they are amazing people. With such a strong support system, such a positive interaction in every community that they are in, a wealth of knowledge. I can sing their praises all day long, and they make a fucking hell of a hunch punch.
I was about to say, that's probably the main point there.
Ooh, they make a hell of a hunch punch.
And I just know from, not verified, but I just know from rarest resources that hunch punch is like nationally known. Yeah, if you're in the community, you hear Onyx, you know about the hunch punch.
And they threw the party Friday night. And the music was jumping. The hunch punch was flowing. Hugs, congratulations, dancing, socializing.
10:30
until you ready? The fire alarm went off and we all had to evacuate the building.
Wait, this wasn't outside?
So somewhere in the hotel.
Oh, it's a suite, yeah.
They're in a suite in the hotel at the convention. Everything's contained within the hotel.
Wait, is people smoking cigars in the suite?
It wasn't our room. It wasn't the party.
Okay,
there was somewhere else in the hotel that the fire alarm for the entire hotel was going off. The entire hotel had to evacuate outside in the rain.
Somebody doing fire play down the hall.
Now, granted, it was towards the end of the party, so that was okay. But yeah, we had to end the party short because, and it was raining outside, so everybody's staying out in the rain.
That's pretty funny.
Oh
so yeah,
my gosh.
somebody doing wax play down the hall somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's good because y'all had to be up early on Saturday.
We
anyway.
did, but shout out to the men of Onyx. You are absolutely amazing. I thoroughly enjoy and look forward to all of the time that I get to spend with you every year. And they truly, truly are part of what makes LLC feel like a family reunion.
And then they spread the love all over the country.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then you had to wake up early on Saturday.
Good Lord. I don't even, it's until business.
And go to breakfast and be in your first class by 9 a.m.
After
So when I tell you that LLC is brutal, it is so much. You go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think 6. In 2 days, you're attending at least probably 6 classes that range from an hour and a half to 3 hours long.
Yeah, and it's not even like a full day because on Friday it starts at noon.
Well, Friday's the half day because everybody's getting in.
Well, yeah, Sunday's like a half day too.
Sunday is a half day. It's until 3.
So technically you're like a day and a half.
And so 9 a.m. starts the next classes. I want to say I went into, which one did I go into? So they had creating inclusive leather spaces, creating group policy on risk management, mitigation, know better, do better, becoming an actionable accomplice, servant leadership, leading with love, not hate and fear. And then Science of BDSM did DEI and kink organizations. I went to that one.
What does DEI stand for?
I knew you were going to ask me.
Right. You know me by now. You know I'm going to ask these questions, especially Science of BDSM people.
I know. I should have written it down. I didn't write it down. I am so sorry.
Me, bruh.
But it's, again, it was one of those where, oh, you know what? I do know exactly what it is. Is it? I want to say I attended the class.
Dungeons.
No.
Dungeons entice intellectuals. Dungeons entice intellectuals.
So good that it was the second time
Doms.
I attended it.
Doms eat ice cream. Doms eat ice cream. Ooh, ice cream play. That's nice. Paddle a fanny, get it nice and warm. You put a scoop of ice cream on there, and you lick it off. That's a good story. I should write a smut book. Doms eat. It'd be DEI. Doms eat ice cream.
You're
like what
ridiculous.
is they talking about? It's food play. Speaking of smut, I've heard a lot of different smut stories recently, and there's like firefighters and police people and undercover stuff going on, and it's like, wow, this is very deep. Definitely go deep into a smut book review. That'd be good stuff too. DEI in kink organizations. Okay, well,
I can't remember.
I'm gonna go.
It's basically about conflict resolution.
Okay.
And it's
leading stuff. There's gonna be a lot of conflict resolution in there.
Yeah, it's basically about conflict resolution. The anatomy of a drama triangle, where there's a prosecutor, a rescuer, a victim.
Yep.
Conflict repair awareness, interpersonal injuries, which can last a lifetime. Determining situational perspectives, how there's person 1, person 2, and then the situational perspective. So in every situation, there's 3 perspectives.
Yeah.
There's the perspective of one person, perspective of a second person, and then there's the situational perspective, which is somewhere in the middle.
Yep.
Empowered situations, how to own power and choose to respond when you're the survivor, and then more how to look through the lens of situational perspective, maintaining the mental health of a group. It was really good. So this was the second time I had attended this
so this is
class.
de-escalating events inter-organizationally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So DEI.
So they had also, and then we had a little bit. No, we didn't have a break. Scroll to the left.
Where is my mouse? It disappeared.
There it is. And so then the next set of classes were, again, emergent leaders, which the person who taught that class was on the emergent leaders panel.
Okay.
So he was able to take the concepts that he briefly brought up on the panel to introduce kind of his class.
He almost planned it ahead.
There's anticipatory leadership, cultivating leadership and intersexuality in your or in your community, leading with different abilities roundtable, and then the consideration and presenter plugin. So again, those were another set of classes. I went to Master Plain Jane's class. Again, if you could ever hear anything that this woman says, it is so informative. The Thrive class, cultivating leadership and intersexuality or intersectionality in your community.
What does Thrive stand for?
No, that's Thrive. Thrive was the drive of the convention.
Okay. Which is what?
It's not an acronym.
Oh. What is Thrive?
Look it up. You've got the internet right at your
fingers. This is what we're here for. We're educating the people. What is Thrive?
Gosh. Stop it.
I'm being serious.
It was... You're driving me nuts. Are you trying to piss me off? Like, it's literally right there. Like, go to... It was the theme of the convention.
Okay.
This is about to get bad. Like, I don't understand where your disconnect is.
I'm asking you what the Thrive meant.
Go to the main page of the convention. Fortifying our foundations, Thrive. It's her title. And it resonated with fortifying the foundation of events and leaders and things. So it's literally just part of her title of the thing. She didn't have a... Go to the class descriptions.
Okay, I'll look it up.
Well, now I want you to look at the class description.
I don't know. Is there a...
No, it doesn't click.
Is there a place for the class descriptions?
There was on the app, but the app's not... It doesn't show those classes anymore.
Yeah, there's no...
Go to the... schedule of events. Is that where we were?
That's where, yeah.
Go to the presenters.
Support team.
Well, she's on the board. Master Plain Jane is very knowledgeable, very experienced, very insightful, and can really have the ability to speak to you where you're at. Right?
Okay.
And so she took this class and basically how can you promote leaders within your community? How can you, take your community and bring it together as a community to thrive together? She just, to sit down and have a one-on-one conversation with her is precious. And I will do it every opportunity that I get. She's hysterical. I've sat on a panel with her before, and I've seen her at LLC now and taken her classes, and highly recommend this presenter. Then you got lunch, which it was presented by Gilead Sciences. So Gilead Sciences was there throughout the entire convention to talk about sexual health. Okay. And offered free testing for anybody at the convention if they would wanted testing done for themselves.
Do they do the full panel?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah. And so they hosted a lunch where they presented about sexual health, which I thought was amazing. It was like a lunch and learn, if anybody understands what those are. So very grateful to have them as sponsors and have them come in and do that for the community. It was a very good presentation. Then right back to classes. The classes were Space to Share, Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Creating Affirming Spaces by Devin Stone. Setting event codes of conduct and host venue boundaries. successful event production or team leadership empowerment, getting out of the way to enable secession. They had a BIPOC roundtable. Whoa. Go back. And then there was leading your group through conflict resolution, which that's the one. Though that's the one I was talking about that I had attended the year before, and I got to sit through it again by a Cody who is a member of Onyx, and again, so much detail, so insightful on how to look at perspectives, how to empower situations, how to identify the key people who are in conflicts to be able to see their perspectives and their point of view. Really spot on class. Really spot on class. Then we had a little break and we went right back into the next one. Call in, call out community accountability roundtable by Mara. Holy shit. Okay, so when I go back to the times, this was a hour-and-a-half class. It was supposed to get out at 5:30. I think we were in the room continuing to discuss this until like 6:15, almost 6:30.
Okay.
It was so good.
Okay.
6 approaches to managing problems in an organization.
Wait, what was
Call in, call out community accountability roundtable. The difference between calling in and calling out. If somebody does something that is considered egregious within the community, when do you decide to call them in and talk about what has happened compared to calling out publicly as to what's happened? You know, what situations do you call in for? What situations do you call out for? What's worked in your community? Why? What did you call out in your community? What did you call in for? And it was just people who shared experiences within their community of things that they call in and call out for. Why it's good, why it's bad, how do you hold them accountable? I didn't write this down. I should really write this down to remember this quote, and I didn't. But it still sticks in my head. It's the first time, you know how we use the words and we use the phrase social capital.
Yep.
Right? So you've heard the word social capital. You've heard the ideology behind social capital and what it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And every time that I have heard social capital talked about, it's in regards to negotiation. It's in regards to how people are viewed in the community.
Yep. Things
of that nature. Mara was the first person that I've ever heard use the phrase, if you've got social capital, you know you have social capital, why aren't you spending it? Why aren't you spending it? What are you saving it for? If you've got it, why aren't you using it to better your community, to call out or call in when things aren't fundamentally right? And I was just like, holy shit. Like, what are you saving it for? It doesn't gain interest. Can't put it in the bank. So why are you holding on to all of this social capital if you have it? And why aren't you spending it? And I just was like, this convention, oh my gosh.
So she's proposing the people with a lot of social capital should call these people out or call them in. Yeah.
They are. They are doing that. They're running for a title. They're running for leather person at holy crap. That one statement, like, it was an amazing roundtable. I wish that had been a 3-hour intensive. It was so good to listen to everybody's perspectives and things that they were calling out in their community, situations that they were dealing with in their regions, and how they have dealt with it or how they wish they had dealt with it and what was going on. What were people doing for accountability? What did accountability look like in different communities? But the very fact that somebody actually said, when you have social capital and you know that it exists and you know that you have it, it's there. Why aren't you spending it?
That's a good question. Yeah. That's just rough if you're not a leader, but you have a lot of social capital.
But you don't have to be a leader to spend it.
Yeah.
You just have to have it.
Some people just want the social capital, or they're just a naturally outgoing person, and then they don't want to take any of the responsibilities for that stuff. It's like, okay.
But yeah.
But that's a great question, though.
That was, holy crap. That still plays in my head. It still plays in my head. The why, not the what. Intergenerational tension in leather and kink. I know. I'm telling you, these classes.
So this is like TNG versus TOG here? Is that what we're talking about?
These classes. And then we got to break. They had an auction, which their auctions are amazing. So what they do is...
Oh, my God. Was there another backpack?
There wasn't another backpack. But there was some amazing art. There was a silent auction and there was a live auction. And all of the money that is raised in the auction goes to the scholarship fund. And what the scholarship fund does is it provides academic scholarships for people in the kink community, in the BDSM community, to obtain the higher level degrees. And
Is there another peach cobbler on auction?
There was. And you know who won it?
You?
No, but somebody I was close to.
Okay. Was it good?
I didn't get any.
How did you not get any?
I didn't get any.
There was leftovers last time.
But the peach cobbler definitely was up for auction again.
Okay, if nobody knows what we're talking about, first of all, the leather backpack, it was the last time when we went, there was actually a full leather backpack, which smelled amazing, and it had a bunch of leather stuff like a personal bag and like another little bag all inside of it. It all came together in this one auction thing, and that, oh man, if you're going to a leather convention, leather bag, and then somebody randomly put a peach cobbler out there. I don't know if it's the same
random.
person.
It is homemade from Atlanta peach cobbler.
So they plan to bring the peach cobbler for the auction?
Yes, they baked it that afternoon for the auction.
So you're saying the peach cobbler was gone before you got some?
I never saw it. I never even got to smell it. It just
ran
disappeared. Yes. So yes, there very much was a peach cobbler. I don't know what they're going to do in LA. Are they going to bring? I don't know that they can't bring a peach cobbler to LA.
I don't know why not.
Well, I mean, it won't survive the flight. It won't be the same.
Well, they can make it there. It's not going to be the same. They can do an LA thing because Georgia's known for peaches. I don't know what LA's known for.
I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do to replace it.
Actors.
But so the silent auction and the live auction, the money that is raised from the auction all goes towards the scholarship fund. And so LLC has a scholarship fund that people can apply to where they're getting their higher level degrees, bachelor's, master's, doctorates. And the goal is go get your degree and thrive. And what you learn and what you do, just come back and support. Like maybe come back and teach or come back and attend. And so every year they give out scholarships for higher level education. And this is the money that pays for it.
Yes, and we've sat through a couple of the classes from the people that got their degrees and came back and taught.
Yeah, so it's absolutely for a good cause. It's a lot of fun.
The auction.
The auction is a lot of fun, yes. And there's a lot of amazing items that get auctioned off. A lot of handcrafted items, a lot of vintage things that you don't see anymore. And then there's always the peach cobbler, so... and then there was a variety show this year. It was like a talent show, which is fun. It's so much fun. So that happened. And then, of course, the second major party of the entire convention, Flair.
Back into the hospitality suite.
Flair. Chef's Kiss Flair. Run by Master Plain Jane. Throws one hell of a party with games and beverages. I believe we were, in true Atlanta form, I believe we were drinking moonshine.
You believe?
I believe.
Allegedly.
Can't prove anything.
Homemade, so you gotta say it's allegedly.
Homemade by a local source. Not going to say who or how or why.
You got some runners in there too?
But no, all I'm going to say is allegedly I believe it might have contained
now I'm really sad.
Absolutely amazing fucking moonshine.
I've never had allegedly a moonshine before. Allegedly.
one hell of a party, one hell of a social event.
No fire alarm this time?
No fire alarm that time. We were good on that night.
They say the wax play. They learned their lesson.
Flair brought it, and they are giving Onyx a run for their money on the party of the convention. Let me tell you,
fighting words.
I know. I'm just putting it out there. I'm not saying that they said that.
I mean, if you're talking about Hunch Punch versus alleged moonshine,
Flair's giving Onyx a run for their money.
I would. Interesting.
Little bit.
Wow. Fighting words.
And then we crash, and then on Sunday you get up
8 a.m.
and have breakfast, right? And then they have one more set of classes that start at 10. They're very gracious. They give us a little extra time to sleep in. And then it was kink leadership groups, a lens through the 5 pillars of trauma-informed care. You had values-based productivity for leaders. You had community burnout, rise from the ashes, put in the fun and fundraisers. And then there was another round table, old guard leather, relevant or relic. So I went to that one.
Yeah. Okay, great. I'm glad you did that because I want to know.
I went to that one. Again, it was by Mara. And Mara just has a way of
I'm guessing they are of the older generation?
Yes.
Okay.
They have seen some things, and they have experiences, and they have knowledges. They've forgotten more than I've ever learned about leather and kink.
That title's amazing. Relevant or relic. Okay.
And it's basically everybody kind of roundtabled and shared experiences of what they're experiencing in their communities with leather, their own paths with leather, the constant battle between what was and what is and what should be, and what do we want to instill in our future leather? What would we like to see? What do we hope they do? How can we, make it accessible to where society is today? It was a great way to end the convention for me, being leather folk, being a leather person. I didn't, and as you see, I read all the descriptions of the classes to you, and this is the first one really that has to do with just leather. So you don't have to be leather to attend this event, but it was really meaningful for me to end the event with a leather class. Very insightful. It was good. It was really good discussion. It's really amazing when you have people with different ideologies and different ways of viewing things, and the commonality is that we all believe that we are walking a leather path, and it's okay that it looks different, and it's okay that it's not the same, and your path is never going to be my path, and it's not going to look like it did 20-30 years ago, and it shouldn't. Because 30 years ago, we didn't have the society that we have now. We don't have the advances that we have now.
Goddamn internet and their social media.
I know.
Kids.
And so this was a really fulfilling way to end the convention for me. And then I had to do the mad dash to the airport because of my flight. And just for my flight to be delayed 3 hours, where I could have attended the closing ceremonies.
Oh, my God.
And all of that. But no, I missed it because I had a flight that ended up not showing up on time. And that was LLC. And now I had the honor of presenting last year. I had the great experience of attending this year. And I absolutely intend to apply to present next year. However,
in LA,
and even if I don't get chosen, I'm still going. So it's gonna be a fun time, whether I get the opportunity to present or not.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Hopefully, get to go in LA, do the things and talk about it, and try the LA peach cobbler. I guess
I don't know that there is such a thing. It's probably some. Is it really peach cobbler? Like if it didn't come from the south, if it didn't come from like an old Southern kitchen, is it really peach cobbler?
How the heck? As long as a Southern person made it.
Hopefully,
no, that's not true too.
I don't
Just have to use
know.
the same recipe. Try. That's intent. Or are you trying to make a Southern peach cobbler?
It's
That's all I
LLC's
care about.
Atlanta peach cobbler is all I can say.
We'll probably come up with something for. Yeah, that'd be nice if there's a theme, and then you're like, oh my god, I need the peach cobbler. Well, we're in LA, so you got to get the LA thing.
I'm gonna make fun of LA for a second. A veggie tray? Like, what are we doing in LA?
Yeah.
Very
what
health
is it?
conscious in LA.
Yeah, it's actors or something. I
They
can't
don't
think of
believe in
one
cooking
specific
with
food.
lard like we do in the South.
Oh Lord.
They don't have a Crisco can in their kitchen.
They got more cultures mixing out there too, so you could get some kind of fusion or
Yeah,
something.
they don't have they don't have that Crisco can sitting in their cabinet like we do.
Oh my god, that's so bad. Oh goodness.
Well, if they do, it's for different reasons. It's not for making cobbler.
Butt sex.
There you go.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Good job.
Or that's not great. That's not good to use the lard, people.
No,
You're
it
cleaning
is.
hands. For butt sex?
Yes.
Oh my god.
For
Okay.
fisting.
Oh, I was talking about actual butt sex.
Yes. Why not?
I don't know. I need to. I've only watched like 2 videos on cleaning out and fisting play, so I gotta rewatch the videos. I'm pretty sure they said like oil. I don't know.
You do
Anyways.
know that there are gay male establishments that they keep buckets of lard around the establishment.
Actual buckets of lard.
Yes.
But okay, never mind. I'm gonna go in my OCD thing of like reusing the same lard, but.
You don't reuse the same lard.
I wonder what's going on. Anyways, that's another tangent for next time. We don't have a closing yet, so we got to do a little outro.
So
This is-
so to sum everything up, go to LLC.
Yes.
Absolutely, get your tickets. Make it a trip. Make it a vacation. It's going to be in LA. Make a week of it.
That is leatherleadership.org.
Absolutely, and go to homepage for me because I believe they've already posted the dates. Oh, there we go. March 14th through the 16th.
Hilton LAX. So right by the airport.
And scroll down for me. And the theme is leveling up.
Levels up to Los Angeles. Breaking news.
Leveling up LLC 2025.
Book
So
your
exciting.
hotel room.
So exciting.
Level up at LLC. Okay. Only $99 through March 31st.
It's not bad for a convention. $99 for a convention for 3 days of those kinds of classes.
Yeah.
You can't get those classes
too
just
many-
anywhere.
Not too many conventions are going to be $99.
No.
Okay. Even my board game was like $150.
Yeah.
So, to wrap up, that was LLC Leather Leadership Conference 2024. Looking forward to 2025 and seeing what they have in the silent auction or the live auction.
Yeah.
Let's see. Hopefully, big plans next year. Hopefully, you'll teach next year.
We'll see.
Going
If
on.
anything, at the very least, come and introduce yourself because I'll be attending.
There you go. So, yeah, we're going to add that to the list of things that
My
we go
leather
to.
sister will be right next to me, and we are so looking forward to being able to attend it together.
Do you want to plug their stuff?
Silk. I mean, that is the owner and runner of Silk LA, and it's an amazing organization. You can find them on the website for Silk LA.
You know what that is?
It is a female only play party, no men allowed play party, and they alternate venues that they do their parties at. They offer education.
Do you know what the website is?
If you just Google Silk LA,
Silk LA.
it'll come up.
Okay.
They have an Instagram page. They have a website now that's got both, Silk LA and Silk Orlando on it. And she is my leather sister. She is my bestie. She is. I could do a whole episode on how amazing this person is. And we have done multiple podcasts together. We've sat and we have taught. And she is an amazing human. Absolutely amazing human.
So, you can catch all that.
And she will be there. You'll get both of us at the same time,
Saw
which
that
is a
11.
rarity. Good luck to LA. We're going to be together
man.
at this convention.
Okay. All right. That's it for
We're gonna
now.
need that moonshine and hunch punch.
Oh my God, would they bring it? You mean alleged moonshine?
Alleged moonshine.
Alleged moonshine.
But not alleged hunch punch.
Yeah. nationally known. You definitely know that Hunch Punch going there all over the country. Okay, so outro. Catch us here around the Kinky Campfire. This is Miss Rue and Julius, if you want to call me that. New episodes most of the time, every second and fourth Thursdays on all the major platforms. Check us out at Campfire Kinksters, all with K's, around the Kinky Campfire. K's everywhere. I keep forgetting to say that. But we got K's everywhere. And then solo episodes every first and third Thursdays of the month for the most part. But that is it for now. Should we do an ASMR minute at the end?
Please don't.
Do that just for that reaction.
I'm actually saying please.
All right. And who are you?
This is Rue.
I'm Batty Coda. Or Julius. It's around the Kinky Campfire. See y'all. You'll hear us later.
Goodbye.
And hello.